Hey everyone, so this is a really impromptu video. Obviously, if you watched SmackDown tonight, you know something unfolded that was extremely shocking and extremely unpredictable, which I will give them a little bit of credit for because no one saw that coming. However, Baron Corbin cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase and lost. Yeah, he lost. What the fuck? What the fuck? Like, I cannot even wrap my mind around it. I'm kind of shook. I really am. And I tried to wait for a little bit to see if I would process it, and I'm still at a loss for words. I mean, Baron Corbin is a pretty newer talent, and for them to give him the Money in the Bank contract and then totally retract and have him lose. So to catch everyone up to speed, if you missed SmackDown, Jinder Mahal was facing off against John Cena in a match, and at the end of the night, Baron Corbin ran down and, was going to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase, and he did. So he runs after Cena and knocks him off the apron, and then Jinder Mahal rolls up Baron Corbin for a 1-2-3. He lost. Seriously, this is not something that you do for someone that you had high hopes to push. He just won the Money in the Bank briefcase this summer, and for them to totally squander his opportunity, it just makes me realize that they retracted their initial thoughts about Corbin. They were really high on Corbin, and they decided to jump ship and demote him and depush him. That's all I can think of. I don't really see any benefits to this. A lot of people will say that Corbin's shoulder was up, and it actually was. So I've realized that a lot of the SmackDown writing team likes to reuse storylines very frequently. So it seems like they're kind of trying to reuse the Naomi-Lana storyline from a couple weeks ago where Lana's shoulder was up. This is in the same vein. Corbin's shoulder is indeed up, but I still feel like regardless, it's not good for Corbin because Corbin is needed to look like a strong, dominant heel. I am really worried about Corbin because, he has to look like a super strong heel that he is. And by losing in this fashion does not make him look strong. It's actually the opposite. And even if he defeats Cena at SummerSlam, it's still not the same feeling because he already lost his Money in the Bank briefcase. So to me, it's pointless at this point. I do believe it's really hard to come back after this, and it's going to be difficult. It really is. It's going to be a long road for Corbin to reestablish himself after what just happened to him. And even if they decided to pull back on his push, even if they wanted to push him a year from now, it's still going to be hard to come back from this. I mean, look at Roman. It's so hard for Roman to get over. He can't, How is Corbin going to come back after this? It's just really hard for me to picture the future for Corbin after this humiliating thing that just occurred tonight on SmackDown. I'm really at a loss for words. The booking is really, really bad. To be honest, though, from a booking aspect, they wanted to do something shocking going into SummerSlam weekend, and SmackDown has been having really low ratings as of the past 6 weeks. So, if you could believe, Raw actually has higher ratings, which is really something to think about, alright? Because we know how bad the Raw shows are. So, if SmackDown is really not drawing any views, they wanted to shake things up on social media, and to be honest, they did. They got a reaction out of it, so kudos for that. They did get the reaction that they wanted, and like I said on Twitter, which I will reiterate for you guys, Vince McMahon probably doesn't really care about the quality of storylines anymore. He is mainly focused on getting a reaction, and clearly he has been invoking a lot of negative reactions the past year or so. There's been a few amazing reactions, but for the most part it's been a lot of negative. And I guess a reaction is a reaction regardless of whether it's good or bad. It still invokes and incites emotion, and I guess that's what they're looking for after all. It's a shame that they had to do it at Corbin's expense, because he is a young talent trying to build himself up and make a name for himself, and to just literally be spat on before even making a huge name for yourself, it's crazy, you know? So they totally threw a curveball at Corbin, and I'm sure he wasn't expecting it until probably this week they told him, and he was probably shocked about it. Why would they take the briefcase from him already? You know, some people might say because they don't want two people cashing in on the same night, and I get that, but have Carmella cash in and have Corbin cash in 4 months later. Duh. Keep Corbin with the Money in the Bank briefcase for a while. It also adds more depth to their characters, always trying to tease us to cash in. I think that's really a fun little characteristic when they do have the briefcase. But unfortunately, it was short-lived with Baron Corbin, and I really don't know where to go from here, but I was very pissed, and I'm still upset. I mean, it's definitely something to talk about for SummerSlam weekend. So if you guys are going to SummerSlam, definitely let me know. I will be there. I will be with, you know, a core group of friends, and I hope to meet all of you guys there who are going. It's going to be a really fun weekend. I don't know what's going to happen with Corbin. I mean, at this point, I have no hope for him. I think he's pretty much dead in the water. You know, I did read a rumor that Vince was retracting his feelings on Corbin, and it was a couple months ago, and I kept it to myself, and it turns out to be true. It just seems like Money in the Bank is such a big waste if they're going to push guys and then retract 2 months later. What's the point of even having that pay-per-view if they're going to retract on guys, you know? Give them a fucking chance. I feel like Corbin was never given his rightful chance to shine. So I feel like it was extremely premature to take the briefcase from him. But I guess we'll see in the coming weeks, including what happens with SummerSlam. I'm just extremely upset with the situation tonight. So let me know. Oh, and by the way, I am wearing a shirt to all you pervs out there, because I know people will ask. I love you guys so much. I will be back on Saturday night for NXT TakeOver reaction video. It's time for bed.